Hey everyone, today we've got some intriguing market news to share. Now, I'm not usually one to keep track of price fluctuations. It tends to remind me of missed opportunities with watches I've sold in the past, but this bit of news is worth noting. Have you heard about the Patek Philippe 5711? Well, the 5711, known as one of the most expensive and sought-after Patek Philippe models, has actually seen a decrease in price recently. Patek Philippe introduced the Nautilus back in 1976 during the quartz crisis, aiming to create a visually striking sports watch that exuded wealth. Surprisingly, it's one of the more affordable options from Patek when you consider its retail price. Although it's been discontinued, it was initially priced around $30,000. However, in recent years, its value has skyrocketed to as much as $200,000, with some versions fetching even more, like the green dial version, which has been offered for over $500,000. But here's the scoop. Between March and April, these watches have actually seen a 10% decrease in price. It appears that the dip in prices indicates that Patek Philippe watches are no longer increasing in value at the same rate they were before. It's a slight decrease, perhaps from 6 times their original value to around 6.2 times. This could suggest that there might be a ceiling for how much a Patek Philippe Nautilus can sell for, and now prices are stabilizing or slightly dropping. This could be seen as positive news, but I'm cautious about making any definitive conclusions without further analysis. While it's intriguing to consider, forecasting market trends isn't my area of expertise. I'm more accustomed to worrying about the fluctuation in my bank account's interest rates, which can be anxiety-inducing, especially when compared to the significant resale prices of watches like Patek Philippe's. In 2021, Patek Philippe sold 70,000 watches with an average price of around $30,000. In comparison, Audemars Piguet, known for its Royal Oak, similar to the Nautilus, sold 45,000 watches at an average price of $40,000. It's interesting to consider whether this softening in prices for the Nautilus and the Royal Oak 15202 is an isolated occurrence or part of a broader trend in the market. Are people starting to reevaluate the perceived value of these iconic models, or is it indicative of a shift towards other options? The Nautilus and the Royal Oak are indeed the pinnacle of luxury watches, highly coveted by enthusiasts worldwide. It's possible that they've reached a point where they're seen as unattainable grail watches, leading some to explore alternatives. Perhaps the recent focus on promoting smaller brands is resonating with consumers, or maybe it's a sign that the high-end watch market is reaching its limit, and buyers are reconsidering their spending habits. It's hard to say for sure without more data, but it's certainly an intriguing development worth keeping an eye on. It's worth considering that the soaring prices and scarcity of models like the Nautilus may be reaching a tipping point. When entry into the Nautilus market is so high, it naturally limits the pool of potential buyers, leading to a slowdown in demand. It's reminiscent of how popular items at auction houses quickly disappear into private collections, only resurfacing when they're up for sale again. With more watches disappearing into collections, some investors may be cashing out as prices reach new heights. This increase in supply could lead to a softening of prices, reflecting a shift in the balance of supply and demand. Of course, there's also the broader economic landscape to consider. Signs of a looming recession could be adding to the uncertainty. While owning a Nautilus at retail price is a rare and potentially lucrative investment, the stability of its value during economic downturns is uncertain. Nevertheless, even in a recession, it's unlikely that Nautilus prices would plummet back to retail levels. The recent fluctuations in prices may leave recent buyers feeling uncertain. Should they sell now to break even, or hold on to their investment in hopes of future gains? It's a tough decision, especially with the looming possibility of a recession adding to the uncertainty. Another factor to consider is the potential anxiety that comes with owning such a high-value item. While some may enjoy the status symbol of a watch like the Nautilus, others may feel self-conscious or even fearful of wearing it in public. It's like carrying around a priceless artifact on your wrist. constantly worrying about damaging it or attracting unwanted attention. For those of us who stick to more affordable watches, the idea of wearing something so valuable could be nerve-wracking. Every bump or scratch could feel like a significant loss. In the end, whether it's the financial implications or the emotional stress, owning a coveted timepiece like the Nautilus comes with its own set of challenges. It's understandable that collectors might be hesitant to wear their high-value pieces in certain places due to the associated risks. The allure of earning significant sums from a watch doesn't outweigh the potential danger it could bring. Shifting gears to Rolex, they've always been a benchmark for price increases. In 2021, Rolex sold over 1 million watches, with an average price of $12,000, which is 10 times more than what Patek Philippe sold. Comparatively, Omega sold half the number of watches at half the price. It's a testament to Rolex's dominance in the market, but it also raises questions about their scarcity model when they sell twice as many watches as Omega at twice the price. Interestingly, Rolex hasn't seen any decreases in prices. On the contrary, popular sports watches saw another 10-15% increase between March and April. However, these changes typically occur first in the most extreme cases, like the Nautilus, before affecting Rolex. So while Rolex's prices continue to rise, they might be a month or two behind the trend. As for Rolex's accessories like cufflinks and pens, I'm not sure if they factor into the price increases. They certainly add to the brand's prestige, but I imagine the main drivers of Rolex's pricing are their watches themselves. Rolex is definitely in a league of its own, almost like a bubble within a bubble. Their widespread popularity and the sheer numbers they generate set them apart from other luxury watch brands. Even if there's some fatigue in the Rolex-related content, they remain the top answer when it comes to luxury watch brands. Considering the recent dip in prices for models like the 5711, which is significantly scarcer than your typical Rolex sports watch, it could hint at a future softening in interest for Rolex sports watches. However, we haven't seen that happen just yet. And historically, recessions often drive people to buy sought-after watches, so who knows, this might just be the calm before a storm of even greater price increases for Rolex. As for Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, and Rolex, what do you think? Are you hoping for prices to come down, or are you prepared to save your pennies just in case? And don't forget to do your own research before buying or selling watches like these. And that concludes our video. Thank you for joining us here at ventichic. Remember to leave a like and comment on this video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to stay updated on future releases. We'll see you in the next video.